Welcome to the Numerology and Astrology for November 9th, 2021. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 16, and if you add the 1 and the 6 together, you get the number 7. The number 7 is about understanding the boundaries and the parameters of life. It is the scientific exploration into the synchronicities in life that appear on the edge of the magical realms. It is the knowing that there are forces outside our understanding that take us places that are a wonder to behold. To do this, we need systems, cross-checking, and the ability to notice repeating patterns. And the 7 Upanishads, if I say that right, of the Persian faith. I always want to call it the Upanishads, but I know that that's not right. So in the 7 precepts of the Persian faith, there are things that have good moral quality, and then the patterns that are in opposition to those 7 good thoughts, words, and deeds that we should endeavor to assimilate. So 1 is the holy creative, the merging of spirit and mental ability. And all of these have an antithesis or an opposite. So the opposite of holy creative mental spiritual ability is chaotic words, actions, and thoughts. Number 2 is goodness, which is associated with a soul's purpose. The opposite is the evil that eats away at progress and unity. Number 3, being our best, which is associated with speaking truth and operating from what is right. The opposite is lies, deception, and manipulation with the intention of taking away from others. Number 4 is desirable, which is often associated with the finding of one's power. The opposite is those that put down others, shame, and betrayal. Number 5 is holiness, which is associated with devotion. The opposite of those are that they choose to act in evil ways, and those that target the weak and vulnerable. Number 6 is wholeness, which is about recognizing completion. The opposite are those that never allow a sense of satisfaction, those that tear down others and constantly find fault. And number 7 is immortality, which is an understanding that energy never dies, it just changes form. The opposite is those that refuse to acknowledge the preciousness of all life and that use their power in destructive ways that cause harm and suffering in the world. I know that was sort of a heady conversation today. So, the goals in life in the Zoroastrianism is to have a good mind and a good purpose that guides a soul's actions, to operate from a place of truth and righteousness, to understand the power of spiritual devotion, serenity, and to operate with loving kindness in all actions, words, and deeds, to use power for the greater good of all, and to manifest government that rules justly, to care for the body, mind, and spirit in this life with the intention to find wholeness and health, and to gain the wisdom and clarity of a long life and practice, acknowledge that all the souls carry an immortal and evolving spark of the divine. Now, I point this out today because I want to show that certain principles have been part of the gauging and evolution of a soul and are a part of all religions and great teachers throughout history. Certain truths have carried us through long stretches of time. It is when we lose track of those important pieces that many things break down. The number 7 loves to understand great truths and wants to move with them towards patterns that can carry us beyond this realm and into a greater wisdom that can transcend our barbaric ways and bring us to an understanding of the deeper and more powerful truths that can manifest when we create a world of peace and harmony. The astrology today. The moon continues to push us with its earthly force as it moves through Capricorn. It is about being sensible in our daily affairs and practical in our choices. I know we live in a results-oriented world, but sometimes we have to use the reality of how hard some things can be as a marker for the amount of time things can take. This evening, the moon will go into the progressive sign of Aquarius, and that might give us some new ideas on how to handle a situation that is arising. Best to wait for that inspiring moment. When clarity arises, then actions will seem easier. Neptune and Mercury will bounce around each other in a way that we perceive may not be as it seems. Know that being overly optimistic can lead down a road of impractical options and can cost us more than we think. Be careful of where our concentration and focus are disjointed and leading us nowhere. But Mars and Mercury are moving into a better place tomorrow, and we may feel it today. It may make us feel on the edge a little bit and snappish at times. Just warning you. Okay, my quote for today. Time. What is time? What does it mean to be able to mark time? How does this help teach humanity greater truths? Time is a concept that brings light and creates death. Time is a place that we have not been to just yet. Time is an element that manifests colors and sounds. Time is a remembrance that astonishes and astounds. It is a process that shows a path that we cannot see. Time is a judgment from a law that manifested a decree. Time is a rhythm, a harmony, a pattern of sounds. Time is a cycle that circles and rebounds. Time repeats and looks for a door. Time celebrates when we are at the end of a chore. Time ticks and time clangs like a bell. Time loves to listen and weave a spell. Time cares for beginnings and celebrates ends. Time knows how to heal and make amends. And my blog for today. I often think that the feminine created the concept of time. As the masculine is infinite space and divine light, I believe that the feminine is the keeper of linear time and the multiple dimensions that divide the infinite into smaller pieces so that we can experience them not from the places of overview and objective perspective, but from those places of intimate knowing and to learn to have appreciation for the passages of time. I believe that the feminine principle of the divine gives birth to creative expressions and the potential for infinite choice. I believe that what has manifested in life is because of a context that yearned for an easier way through this density. The drive to figure out how to have things take less time was part of our wanting to learn to enjoy life and cultivate peaceful coexistence with the rest of life. Human nature loves to figure things out and make things run smoothly. We look at the history of our world, and even now we are making massive discoveries as to the ancient people and cultures that existed way before we believed what civilizations could have existed. We live in an exciting time, one of great discoveries that can bring our awareness into a higher plane of appreciation and understanding of the scientific and mathematical awareness that ancient people knew and followed. We are learning about new dimensions that exist side by side with this reality. We are beginning to understand how time and space can fold and how such a concept could allow us to move more quickly over great distances in space. And this moment, while precious, is the blink of an eye in the divine. No matter what, make most of each moment in time. We never know how much time we have in this world, but there is an infinite space that we all return to, so we can play out another game of time in another reality. I'm excited to meet all of you there again. Thanks, everyone.